For any Xbox or PlayStation codes or cheap games on any platform, use the referral link in the description. It'll take you to g2a.com. Use the promo code CHES over there and you'll get yourself 3% cash back. For all No Identity merchandise, hats, hoodies and t-shirts, follow the link in the description down below to the No Identity Fan Fibre website. Hey guys, welcome to episode number 13 of Season 4 here in the career mode Road to Glory. In the last episode, we didn't advance anywhere in the calendar at all. We simply discussed what the plans could potentially be for this upcoming transfer window. You guys have given me plenty of suggestions in the comment section, as well as a handful on Twitter as well. And the main point of discussion at the particular moment in time isn't necessarily potential transfer suggestions for players inbound, but it's what we should do with the recreated players that we built at the beginning of the second season when I had to rebuild the save. Players like Jake Clark-Salter, like Bradley Halliday, Joel Asoro, and there was a couple of others as well, including Joel Mason, who of course we are looking to sell on anyway. And there are a number of, to be fair, it was quite mixed. Previously, before I actually brought the topic up as a discussion, it was only really the vocal majority of people that actually wanted them to be sold that actually piped up in the comments. But once I brought it up as a genuine point of discussion, there was a rather large outcry of people saying keep hold of these players as well. So I'm kind of torn at the minute, I'll be completely honest. I think what we may do is hold off on that, considering we have a decent amount of money right now. I won't actively look to sell Halliday, Clark-Salter, or who's the other one? Halliday, Clark-Salter, or Joel Asoro. I won't actively look to sell them, but if we get an offer in this window, then I will consider it. Then we will readdress that issue in the summer transfer window at the beginning of next season, because of course we may only get a small budget next season again, in which case we might well need to sell on some of our higher rated players, and of course they will be some of our higher rated and higher valued players, so we might need that money then rather than now when we already have a sizable chunk. And one comment in particular actually caught my eye and made a lot of sense. It was a comment by Max Genera, and he said basically was saying don't sell the recreated players or remade players right now. And he gave a very valid reasoning for it. And basically, the gist of it is, obviously, when we start the save, their potentials are very low. But it's the performances on pitch that dictate what a player's potential could be in any given new season. Of course, he used the example of Luciano Vietto. He said 3 years ago, Luciano Vietto had potential of 68. Now look at him, 3 years later, when he's putting the performances on the pitch in real life, his potential has been updated over the course of his career to now being like 85 to 88 potential. And we could kind of see that same sort of progression in the players that we've got with Clark-Salter and Joel Asoro. Yes, at the beginning of the save, the potential was only mid-70s, but with their performances on the pitch and the training they've put in, as we've gone season to season, as they've gotten older and older, their potentials, if we were to start a save, say, at this particular point, Clark-Salter might be 81 rated now and have the potential to become 88, 89 rated. So you have to take into account the fact that players update as their careers progress. Of course, Paul Pogba 5 years ago was a 55 rated bronze central midfielder at Manchester United before he then got the move to Juventus, and now is an 88 rated midfielder 4 years later. So it's kind of the same sort of progression that we've seen with players in real life that's happening with these players in this save. And I'd never really approached it from that mindset before. So thank you, Max, for offering a completely fresh overview of and perspective on the situation. And we currently have about £40 million or so to spend. We are looking to strengthen in a couple of positions in particular, most notably at right back. Of course, we are looking to sell Joel Mason. He's on the transfer list. We are looking to sell Benyat as well to bring in a new holding midfielder. They're the two positions where I would most like to improve now, right now, this window. If we are going to keep hold of Bradley Halliday, then what I might do is go out and sign someone that is currently better than Bradley Halliday and knock him from first team right back to second team right back and still have him at the clubs like we have done with Luke Berry. Have him as a backup player rather than the out and out first team player. And of course, a few people rather understandably keen on me signing some English talent, some domestic talent, considering we're obviously an English team and have come from the lower leagues, might be more keen on me signing domestic players rather than rather than players from further afield. So I'm looking at Kyle Walker with regards to the right back spot. I may even use Joel Mason as part of a deal to potentially bring Kyle Walker in. So we will look at him. Of course, there are a couple of pre-contracts we were still contemplating. Ben Davies really does still stand out to me as a potential for that left-back role next year. James Ward-Prowse, a couple of people saying because I signed him at Everton, I'd actually forgotten I'd signed him at Everton because it was like 4 months ago. But a few people saying because I signed James Ward-Prowse there, maybe lean away from signing him in this series. So we'll put James Ward-Prowse on the back burner, but still leave him there as a potential option. There was a lot of call for the obvious players like Marcus Rashford and Paulo Dybala, etc. But I think, as always, we'd rather go for some players that aren't necessarily completely left field, but aren't the obvious players. So I probably won't go for someone like Marcus Rashford or Paulo Dybala, etc. But we're still going pretty mainstream with players like Kyle Walker. So there's a fine balance, and I'm sure you can see where I'm coming from with regards to that fine balance. But it's a case now of seeing how this window progresses, and I have added Naby Keita there as well. I'm scouting him currently. Got a second inform card on Ultimate Team this week. Looks very, very good. He would be one of the players we'd contemplate from further afield. But we do currently have about £40 million to spend, and obviously with the sale of some of these players here, we could raise a sizable amount more in this window. Bailey Wright wants out, as does John Mason. That's why they're on the list. Alessandrini, I'd be open to replacing now. Bia, I'd be open to replacing now, and Follman is surplus to requirements this season, so he's on his way out as well. So please do continue to give me your suggestions in the comment section for players at right back, for players at holding mid, for players on the right hand side and left hand side of midfield. And for now, I think we'll leave the striking situation until next season. So that's the situation we find ourselves in currently, and in fact I am going to throw a bid in for Kyle Walker straight off the bat, but obviously if you guys have any further suggestions, then I will act on them, and we're still waiting for a number of scout reports back for a handful of other players too, obviously, so there's still plenty that could be done elsewhere in the window. Now if we go back down here, where are you, Joel Mason? He's valued at 7.5, so if I offer 12 plus Joel Mason, then they might accept that. Wages are quite high. This is where we're going to have a little bit of an issue with regards to managing our budget, because, of course, players that we currently have at the club, the majority of them are on really small wages in comparison to the calibre of player that we're looking to bring in. I might be selling a player that has a wage bill of £10,000 and having to pay £80,000 to £90,000 on a replacement. So the transfer budget might actually rapidly decline a lot quicker than the wage budget, because obviously I'm having to constantly switch between the two. Jamie McLaren is unsettled, and the board want me to get him off the books, but they're going to leave it down to me. They want me to either play him or sell him. Oh, I'm torn. Off for Jonathan Cooper. No, I'm going to say no to that. He's unhappy. I'm not really too sure why. He's starting every week, probably at a guess. It's just wages, and he wants an extra. He wants a contract boost. I will quickly check that, just to make sure that he's all right. All right, Cooper. Why are you unhappy, my man? Feels he's underpaid. Right, well, I'll offer him a new contract, and that will keep him happy. And we will push a little bit further on. There's a handful of days before the game against Chelsea. I think it was Chelsea, wasn't it? Yes, Chelsea at the weekend. Then we've got Everton midweek. And we'll play those two games today. Then we'll have Reading and Manchester United tomorrow. And then Stoke and transfer deadline day the day after that, unless of course there's another FA Cup tie scheduled in between now, or the Reading one, and the end of the season, providing of course that we beat Reading. I don't want to count my chickens just yet, considering we've had some mishaps in domestic cup competitions earlier on in the season, or earlier on in the save, sorry. So I'm not going to take anything for granted right now, but I will quickly offer Cooper a contract. So he's on £625 a week, and he only wants £800. It's mad. I'll leave him as Predic first team. No, I'll give him squad rotation player. He's my first team keeper right now. But both he and Watson are currently being trained. Actually, no, that's a lie. Watson is currently being trained. But if I compare them here, there was a lot of people saying that Watson has a higher potential. And whilst that is correct, he still isn't as good across the board as Cooper. Diving is 1 better for Watson, but handling, which is a very important stat, is 6 better for Cooper. Kicking is better for Cooper. Positioning is better for Cooper, and reflexes are the same. So they're pretty similar diving and reflexes wise, but handling and positioning, Cooper is still the better keeper. So that's why I'm leaning towards having him as my first team keeper at present. We'll advance a little bit further through the window, see if we get any other offers in for players that we have on the transfer list. Because, of course, it's always better to move everybody out first before then bringing other players in so you know exactly what you've got to spend. Another offer for Cooper, though, which is interesting. He's now happy, though, because we've offered him a new contract, and presumably, that means I'm just going to reject all offers because I'm not going to sell either of these two keepers. Presumably, he's happy now because that means he is going to accept in due course that contract we've just offered him. But like I say, please do continue to give me all of your suggestions in the comments section and on Twitter, as many of you did. Thank you for that as well. So, transfer offer unacceptable. They're not interested. They're not interested in Joel Mason. Okay. Well, it'll have to be just cash then for Kyle Walker, unless I can offer someone else. Maybe Alessandrini? I don't even know who they'd be interested in, to be honest. I could perhaps just offer them anyone, really. Who's valued more? Alessandrini's... Go on, would you want Alessandrini plus... Oh, Alessandrini plus 14. You never know. I'm probably going to have to play just cash and play quite a substantial amount of money. Offer for Anthony Lozano. I'm going to reject that. He's hit a good vein of form for us right now, Anthony Lozano, and I'm keen on keeping hold of him. A couple of offers, actually. One from FC20 as well as Celtic. So I think Lozano's going to stay, or I would prefer Lozano to stay. And like I say, the Joel Asoro thing will kind of deal with that if any offers come in, but we're not actively going to look to sell Asoro, Jake Clark-Salter or Bradley Halliday in this window. We will reassess in the summer window. We've had an offer there, as you can see, for Jake Clark-Salter, so that is now something that I'm going to have to take into consideration. Another offer for Lozano. I'm just going to reject all offers for him now, considering we definitely want him to stay. It's a £35 million bid for Jake Clark-Salter. Now, a lot of people were also pointing out in this transfer window that yes, we are having a very good season, but we are also a side that have just been promoted from the Championship. So whilst it is a genuine possibility that a side could do what we are doing in the Premier League after coming up from the Championship, as we've seen with Ipswich Town and Leicester City, etc. But it's not necessarily like signing unbelievable 90 rated players is perhaps a step a little bit too far at this stage. And maybe we should wait till next season before signing the world's best. Maybe in this window we should look to sign kind of a step up from what we've got, but not the biggest step up. So we're not advancing too quickly. So I could sell Jake Clark-Salter. I could counter for like 70 million and then go out and sign someone incredible. But is that necessarily what we want to do in this window? I'm really not sure. I'll counter offer 60. And if they're willing to pay 60, I'll counter offer 70. If they're willing to pay 70, then fair enough. That will fund everything else that we want to do in this window. And then we won't need to worry about whether other players sell or not, like Benyat or Folman or Joel Mason, etc. I can go out and buy the players I want, and then we can just sell those other players as and when offers come in. We're not having to sell them to then bring new players in. So we'll head into the game against Chelsea. Obviously, it's a very important one. Chelsea are 6 points behind us in the league, and this will bring us up to exactly the halfway stage in the Premier League season of 19 games. We've recently played Manchester United and Everton, and now we play 5th place Chelsea. And then it was Everton again in the midweek games. So some huge games for us being played right now. Absolutely massive games. And with that Everton game in mind, I may mix the first team up for this game against Chelsea. So I'm playing some first team players in this one and some first team players against Everton, and then I can play a full rotation side against Reading in the Cup. It's my thinking right now. I will go and adjust my starting lineup accordingly, and we'll jump into this game against Chelsea. Drop the video a like if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the channel and the content to make sure you don't miss out on any more. And hopefully we can get a decent result at Stamford Bridge. I'd be happy with a point, I'll be honest. Feed him up with a throw. Navarrete has come short, so we'll use him. We'll fire that through there to Hernan. And I'm going to fire that over there, looking for Alessandrini. He's brought it down well, but Azpilicueta has picked his pocket. Bennett does well to win that header, though. And Hernan will get this across here to Alessandrini. I'm going to go forward to Navarrete and then get away from the defender into Wiedemont. Down there to Asoro. Navarrete is here in the middle, and he's got some space. Lino Navarrete draws a good save out of Asmir Begovic. Win that header. He didn't. Mikel will get it clear. Well, he get it up and away. It's not necessarily clear, but his teammates have helped him out there. Cuadrado loses possession to Hernan, but wins it back again via Mikel. That was the first chance of the game, and it was a good effort from the edge of the box from Navarrete. Halliday does very well to win that header. Angban trying his best to win it off me, but not able to do so. So a positive start for us so far here at Stamford Bridge. I believe we lost against Chelsea earlier on in the season. They played a weakened side and were still able to beat me. Or was it Manchester City? It may even have been both, actually, thinking about it. So we'll have to wait and see how we get on here. It is a strong enough Chelsea side, to say the least. Eden Hazard playing and Gary Cahill at the back. That's a foul, is it? It is. And they've also got Gary Cahill, I mentioned him, Nemanja Matic and Azpilicueta, etc. Thomas Callas actually starts, a player on our shortlist currently that we're potentially looking to sign. I'm so sorely tempted to try and be cheeky and go for a shot here, so I'm going to. Navarrete looking to squeeze it into that near post, but didn't quite get enough spin on it. Joel Osoro's picked up an injury, apparently, but he's all right to continue, still on the pitch, and no injury symbol next to him anymore, so should be all right to play on, and hopefully shouldn't keep him out too long once we get back to the menus. But for now, 0-0. And out wide to Eden Hazard. Benyat trying to close him down. And I got just the man and not the ball there. Hazard turned. Benyat might be in trouble here, actually, because I think that may have been from behind. Oh, yellow card only. I was really panicking there. When he got there and then delayed, I was waiting for the hand to go to the back pocket. Thankfully, it didn't. Corner. Free kick to come in then. Hazard's delivery. It's decent. Matic underneath it. 1-0 Chelsea. Really good header. Down low into the bottom right-hand corner. Nemanja Matic gives our hosts a 1-0 lead. Really tall physical player, of course. Great delivery from Hazard and Matic. The header just... The longer it was flying through the air, the further away from the keeper it got, unfortunately. We find ourselves 1-0 down at Stamford Bridge. Time to try and turn that around. With the throw, Alessandrini the obvious target. Benyat, Hernan, Navarrete is there. I get it quickly around the corner. I tried, but Callas intercepted very well indeed. Eden Hazard gets that somehow through the gap into Mikel. Matic here to Callas, and Cuadrado's free on this near side. His dribbling is very good, Cuadrado, as you can see. Kind of struggling to deal with it. And John Obi Mikel, of all people, in the box with a chance to score. Hernan tackled, Bradley Halliday tackled him, and Mikel tackled him back, but thankfully for me, he shot wide on his left foot. Doesn't score many goals, John Obi Mikel, and thankfully didn't on that occasion either. I got runners. Roussillon's arriving. Osoro is in the box, so if I can find a decent cross, which we have done, John Terry had to head that away, but Callas get the ball away, will he? Yeah, eventually. That was a dangerous ball in from Roussillon there. Decent delivery. If Joel Osoro was a little bit better in the air, he might have gotten on the end of it. And unfortunately, I've not got anyone really in the box in a hit or position to be winning headers. Unless, well, Navarrete got on that. I was in control of Alessandrini, but there's our second chance of the game, really, on the half-hour mark. But it looked on the halfway mark. But it looks like we are going to be going in at half-time with a 1-0 deficit. On the runs, Roussillon's going to have to close him down here as he just turns inside me and keeps running away. Get headed by Clark South. Can Wiedemann get there? No, it was a rather poor attempt as well. Callas with the effort, wide by a margin. Chelsea just peppering my shot with goals, my goal with shots right now. But thankfully, they're of poor quality. Remy's gone off and someone's come on. I didn't quite see who it was. Oh, Paulo Dybala, brilliant. Okay, well, Paulo Dybala now on up top for Chelsea, trying to see the game out. But, gone down there. I was going to hope I could still squeeze that to Osoro. We've got half an hour to get ourselves an equaliser, or for Chelsea to extend their lead via that new introduction of a rather good Argentinian striker. N'Golo Kante now on as well, but I've tripped him and fouled him, so I'm going to make a couple of changes. That's Hernan picking up a booking for that challenge there as well. Let's bring on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. What to do? Let's bring on Zedos for Wiedemann, and we'll put Zedos on the right and Alessandrini on the left. Willian on now as well. So Willian, Kante and Dybala, they're three changes in this game, Chelsea. Callas with a header that's wide of the target. Shots still coming in on goal here, but still they keep not being able to extend their lead. And the longer they fail to do so, the longer we have an opportunity of getting an equaliser. But at the minute, no one's really threatening to get an equaliser. I just need to try and come up with something magic. Navarrete could give us that. If he can get past Callas, which he has done. Navarrete! Saved by Begovic. Corners to come in. We're trying to get ourselves this equaliser. It's a decent delivery. Clark-Salter's up. Saved by Begovic. Ruben Loftus-Cheek just managed to get his foot to that ahead of the former Chelsea teammate at that far post, or near post as it is as we look onto it. Far post from the corner's perspective. Flicked on by Jay Clark-Salter. Good save by Begovic, but Cahill couldn't clear in time, trying to just turn it behind for another corner, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets his toe to it. We're level at Stamford Bridge. Hazard with the throw. Back there to Aspi. Cross comes in. Cahill chests it down. Clearly on all-out attack now, Chelsea, trying to get this winner. Dybala back to... Oh, what a block from Jake Clark-Salter. I wasn't even in control of him there. The AI just took over and just threw him into that challenge, and thankfully... that challenge was enough to stop them from taking the lead again, and we're catching them on the counter here. Matic has run out of stamina, but Zedos hasn't really got the legs at the minute to get away from. There's Solasoro. Roll and get it back there. Berry to Alessandrini to win it. 2-1. On the counter-attack, as Chelsea commit too many bodies forward. Alessandrini on the overlapping run round the outside. We lead at Stamford. Ow, that hurt. I got an ingrown thumbnail, and I just cracked it. That was rather painful. We've got a 2-1 lead at Stamford Bridge with just 3 minutes to go. Great finish from Alessandrini, putting himself in the shot window with a very good shot across goal there. And with it went down as the 88th minute. So with just 2 minutes to go, 3 points. Looks like what we're gonna get from Stamford Bridge. A hard-fought result. Chelsea going 1-0 up in the first half, and we had to battle very, very hard to get ourselves anything from this. But it looks like what we get from it is going to be a win. Unless they come up with something in the last few moments. They have had a number of opportunities in this game, Chelsea, but a number of them have been off target, and those that have been on target, been pretty comfortable for the keeper to save. They've got a corner here. Begovic is up. Begovic is up. Now, Begovic has scored a header against me on Ultimate Team before, and Dybala heads that wide of the target. Very close to an equaliser for Chelsea. Begovic back in his goal now. And the final whistle is surely only moments away. That's flicked on though. I can't get there with Navarrete. Asoro wins the tackle. And ref, please. Ref, please. Referee, please. Thank you. A 2-1 victory at Stamford Bridge. We get 3 points. I don't know whether that's deserved or not. I think we deserved a point. But you can see by the number of chances Chelsea had that they were very wasteful in front of goal. Despite having twice as many shots, we had the same amount of chances on target. But 2 of ours went in, and only 1 of theirs did. Arsenal lose. That puts us joint top of the Premier League. But I was to Manchester United as well, which is massive. How did Everton get on? They drew 1-1 against Southampton. So our top 4 position with a win over Chelsea strengthens. A transfer offer in for Jamie McLaren. I don't know what to do. I want to keep him, but he's just not playing, and it would be unfair to stunt his career. Oh, Jamie. You've been so good for me, though. I'm going to reject it. I want to keep Jamie McLaren. I really want to keep him, at least until the summer. Because he's been with us a long time now, and he's always popped up with the occasional very, very important goal. What I just saw in the bottom right, we are now top of the Premier League table, on I believe, on goal difference. Central midfielder Watson, rather than goalkeeper Watson, has gone up a rating there, as you can see, up to 69. We had another email. It's probably just a press conference, though, for the Everton game. And is. So then, the Premier League looks like this. At the halfway stage, we are level at the top of the table with Arsenal, a point clear of Manchester United, and 6 clear of Everton, who we play next. We were 6 clear of Chelsea, but we're now 9 clear of Chelsea, but there are 4 teams on 29 points. So that mid-table, in fact, there's only 3 points between 11th place Manchester City and 5th place Chelsea. So it's a big battle going on there. But we seem, as a front 3, maybe 4, if you class Everton in there as well, to be pulling away from the rest. We'll have to wait and see how the second half of the season goes. But the first half couldn't really have gone much better for us. Jonathan Cooper's accepted the contract offer. No word yet about the Kyle Walker deal, but that might be one of what these extra emails are. And they've rejected the offer. Not interested in the player, want more money. Okay, is there anyone else I can offer you? What about Bailey Wright? Plus 16. Just going to keep offering, although that might be the last one I put in until I get more feedback from you guys. But an offer in for Joel Asoro. It's my highest rated striker. And it was basically a 50-50 split. I'm not going to sell Asoro this window. Asoro is a player that I will keep until the end of this season. Because if any striker is going to leave, it's going to be Jamie McLaren. Let's jump into this game now, away from home against Everton, and try and get another set of 3 points if we possibly can against another team playing at home in blue and white. Shadows just loft that over the top, looking for the runner Luke Berry, and we found him well, although not strong enough to hold off Funes Mori. So many games played with an Everton team this year on FIFA 17 for me, of course, with the 3 seasons we spent there in the first series we did on career mode this year, that Goodison Park almost feels like a second home. I actually play, because I spent most of my opening time on FIFA 17 playing career mode at Everton, it became just a stadium I felt comfortable playing in. And I actually used Goodison Park as my home ground on Ultimate Team on my main account ever since day one as well. So I've played so much football at this ground, whether it be on career mode or Ultimate Team, that it really feels like a second home almost. I'm close to getting out the Everton shirt that we wore for the entirety of that series, and almost cutting it into a half and half shirt, because we've obviously committed so much to both Everton and Cambridge United throughout the course of FIFA 17 career mode this year. Obviously more successful at Cambridge United than we were at Everton, but we did spend a hell of a lot of money and have some incredible players at Everton. If I could get this squad here at Cambridge to be anywhere near as good as that squad was, then I'd be absolutely delighted to have been able to have that sort of turnaround in this series. And Shadows could start us off here. On the police back looking for Luke Berry, who will have the shot, but fire it over the top of the bar. So there's the first chance of the game. Unfortunately, well wide of the target, but there's a lot on the line here, personally as well, for Cambridge playing against Everton, with the history we have on FIFA 17. So I would very much like to come away with a victory. Spins on it, gets it into Coleman. He's got Bastos in front of him. Bailey Wright just coming here with Coleman. Oh, Bastos with a shot. Davinson Sanchez. Oh, it falls back too, and Sanchez gets 2 blocks in on the same effort. Remarkable defending. Well, either remarkable defending or absolutely terrible attacking from Bastos to kick it against the same player twice in the space of 2 or 3 seconds. Berry through there to Bia. Bia to Berry. Turning into Loftus-Cheek. Runner on the outside is Greco. Try and turn into the box. Oh, I'm trying to pass it or do something with it, and I can't get it out of my feet. Berry's shot is well blocked by Besic. And now they actually have the chance to come on the counter. Gerard Deulofeu running a little bit low on stamina. Everton must have had a game at the weekend as well. I have the luxury of having a rather large squad, so I can play a row. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, thankfully Bastos can't shoot. Really good move that from Everton. Thankfully we have a large squad so we can cope with the heavy fixture list, but clearly Everton having to play players midweek and at the weekend. Besic absolutely dead there, judging by his stamina bar, but we'll have more games next season because hopefully we'll have more games next season, because it does look like we'll be qualifying for Europe in some regard, whether that be Jedos has gone down hurt there, whether that be Champions League or Europa League. It does look like we will be involved in some sort of European football next year, but we'll have to wait and see what that is. And Jedos is actually going to have to come off here, not what we needed. However, Emre Moore can play at the right hand side of midfield. But what I might do actually is put Jeffrey Majangi out wide right, and bring Kevin Folman on at cam. Put him in the shot window. Alessandrini and Benyat were in the shot window in the last game, and Alessandrini popped up with a goal. So maybe Folman could do the same. Do I give the... Actually, Gieselman's on the pitch, isn't he? Go on then. Can Gieselman come up with something worldy here? We'll try. There's your answer. Forward to Greco. A bit of footwork. Failed miserably. Seamus Coleman gets it to Deulofeu, who looks for Pabon, who has come on, and he's very quick. Into Idrissa, good save by Cooper. Palaci's underneath this, and the header is on target, but again, comfortably there for the keeper. It's been all Everton in this second half. All Everton. I'm going to have to bring on Emre Moore, I think, just to give me that extra little bit of pace on the counter-attack, because I'm struggling to cope at the minute. Good footwork here from Greco, though. In there to Lozano, but Jagielka gets the tackle in. Just under 20 minutes to go, and again, Everton looking to catch me on the counter here with Gerard Deulofeu. There's an option to play that ball down the line, and he's rejected the opportunity to play it twice now. Is he going to cross it, Gerard? I don't know what he's going to do. He did cross it, but it's gone straight to the keeper. Right, I'll make that change, bring on Emre Moore, and we'll try and get ourselves a winner. Driving forward into Pabon. Good footwork. Oh, the shot straight at the keeper. as have been almost all of Everton's shots that have been on target straight at the keeper. He's not really been forced into a top save at all in this game, Cooper. They've either been wide or right at him. I've not really caused their keeper many problems whatsoever going the other way, so I can't be overly critical. Watson's gotten a tackle in there. There may be time for one final chance. But for what side will it be for? Because I've just given that straight to Barkley. And Bolassi's made the run down the line. Bailey right with him. That's got straight to Davinson Sanchez. And there's the final whistle as the ball goes over the line. And it weirds me out as the keeper gave up on it. It's going to be a 0-0 draw against Everton. I mean, if you'd have offered me 4 points from before I played those two games, I'd have taken them. Although I would have thought they'd have been the other way around. I didn't really do much in that game. That was disappointing. A disappointing performance for me. Liverpool win 3-0. Arsenal draw 2-2. So Arsenal dropping points in back-to-back games. Spurs win by 3-1, but they're a little bit further down the table. Not sure how Chelsea have done midweek or Manchester United. Manchester City are right down the bottom, I think, or they were. Got 2 emails. Transfer offer. They'll pay 50. Oh God, bloody hell! Jedos is out for 4 weeks. That sucks. They'll pay 57 million. Jake Clark-Selter. I'm going to reject it. We'll deal with those guys in the summer. We'll deal with those guys in the summer. I'm not going to bother selling them in this window. I will probably sell them at some point in the near future, either the upcoming summer or the January after that. But I think we'll just hold off for now, considering it would be pointless to raise that amount of money at this stage of the series, considering it would be even more unrealistic than it already is with me having to being able to spend 100 million plus on a player or something like, or 250, 60 million pound players at this stage. Should we, however, finish top 4, then you would be able to justify us spending that sort of money in a window on that quality of player that we need now to improve the team. So we are second by a point from Manchester United and still level with Arsenal. Everton 6 points behind us now. Chelsea a further point back than that, being 7, and Stoke and West Ham still there on 32. Spurs now on 30. Manchester City still down in 12th, so a terrible season for them. And Liverpool even further down, I just noticed as well. But that's going to bring today's episode to a close. We are still looking to improve in a number of positions, though. Right back, and especially now that Zedos is out for 4 weeks, wide right and potentially wide left as well, and in holding midfield. I just think we'll leave the centre-back and striker situation until, with regards to Clark-Salter and Osoro, until the next window. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be improving at centre-mid, left-mid, right-mid, and right-back in this window. Please do continue to give me your suggestions. I saw a comment a moment ago for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, which is a good potential for us on the right-hand side of midfield. So I will add him in here. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'll add him to the list. 83 rated currently. Bloody hell, he looks absolutely incredible. Add to the shortlist. So he's now added to the list, and looks like he'd be absolutely brilliant if we were able to bring him in. So I might use Alessandrini in that deal. And then we will address the others with regards further transfer suggestions from yourselves. But that's going to bring today's episode to a close. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Continue to leave me your suggestions. Subscribe to the channel too if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.